Hello, everybody. Welcome to a REBBL Playoffs quarterfinal. We've got the Murdery Space Elf Troupe, coached by Motley, and we have Community Sport by Dreamify. I'm here with Carl Jaeger.
Hi.
Who's a little muffly. We tried to fix that before stream, but it didn't really work. So I apologize for that. But that's the situation we find ourselves in. So this is quarterfinals, Motley and Dreamify, both of them having come through a Nurgle coach to get here. Motley came through the Red Joker, Dreamify came through Stouticus. So we'll see what the conditions of their team are, but considering they won, I feel like they're probably fairly good. Dreamify is from the last great hope of G-Man, I think, from 4A. And Motley is from REL to B this season. So we can take a look at the teams, I suppose, while we wait for them to get going. This Blitzer had a level pending when I checked this team earlier, and now he has plus strength. So I guess that's why that was pending.
That's a nice Blitzer.
Yeah, this is the Murdery Space Elf Troupe by Motley. Yeah, that's a lot of blodge. That's some sidestep. That's a lot of stats. That's a terrifying Dark Elf team. Like, when you see a Dark Elf team with they have blodge. Dark Elf teams have blodge, but when they also have stats and 4 guard, yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a beautiful team.
Yeah, movement 8 Witch Elf. It's got Wrestle. There's a Mighty Blow piling on Witch Elf. A very annoying Blitzer, Strength 4, Sidestep, Blodge Fend, just in case you wanted the most annoying person to place in a spot ever. 2 guard tackle Blodge Blitzers, one of them has Sidestep. There's an Agi 5, another Strength lineman, kick, couple guard. Man, the one thing they don't have is more than 11 players. I think is really the one thing that you'd have to comment on, because they are going up against an Orc team, and if the Orcs can knock down any players, well, pretty much all of them are valuable, and you might not have much of a bench. Yeah.
Apparently, they're not hearing me.
Yeah, it's the muffly. I don't really know how to fix that, honestly. I mean, I can turn you up, but that's just going to make it louder, not less muffly. Let's try that.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was the volume they said, but if it's the muffler thing, then...
Well, I'll turn you up and we'll see what happens. Is that better?
We'll know in a minute, I guess.
So they're what, 1950 are these Dark Elves? Yeah. And then a couple pages later, where are they? I found them before. I guess the better way to do that is just to search instead of... I remember finding the team and being excited about it. Okay, if you still... I'll turn them up more. I just don't want this in-game sounds to be too loud. So this is Community Sport, Dreamify. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players. So they actually do have a bench. And speaking of stats, that's a movement 8 Agi 4 Orc Blitzer.
Yeah, I saw him earlier this season.
Typical sort of piling on Mighty Blow Blitzer. We're missing the movement 7 Blitzer, but he's also Strength 2 Agi 2, so I don't know how much his life is going to be extended here. Typical Orcs for the next little bit, with some block and guard strewn about. Although he's out-guarded by the Dark Elves, which is like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. No, they have the same amount of guard. They both have 4 guard. They've got the Troll. Do we have the Token Goblin because we have a Troll? We do. Kipo down here. And the Thrower has Agi, so that's actually pretty useful. But another Agi piece out. A couple of the stat pieces on this team being missing for this round after having just come off a Nurgle game. So, well, we'll see. I mean, I feel like I like the Dark Elves just because they have so much, like they have as much guard as the Orcs. They have so much blodge step, like blodge. There's 2 tackle. It's a really good Dark Elf team, but they don't have a bench, and they have like 2 like kind of idiot lineman players that they don't care about, and everybody else is relatively important. So if the Orcs can get some attrition going with their 3 Mighty Blow players, then that's probably how the Orcs get a good chance at this one. But if they don't get some good removals, I feel like this is going to be a Dark Elf favored match. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think if Dreamify still had that agility Rackle piece for this game, I think he would be much more of a threat to the Dark Elf coach.
Yeah, him being out is a pretty big deal. Not having Rackle, not having Tackle for that matter. 2 of his 4 tackle being out for a game against a Dark Elf team is pretty terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely. But that Rackle piece is very good for like sacking the ball. Even though it's only movement 5, it very much synergizes with his movement 8 agility tackle piece. So yeah, it's a shame he's not there. We'll see how it does without it.
Yeah, I think that the 2 tackle mighty blow pieces are going to be really important on this one. Well, let's go see. It is directly at start time, so maybe we can find the game being live. There might still be an inducements. Looks like that's the case. Well, we'll hit a minute or 2 and then get in there. If I recall correctly, the orcs get inducements, but only not a whole lot. Let me check that real quick. So I believe the orcs are what, 1820, and the dark elves are 1950. So you get 130. Hey, Travel Scrabble. Yes, being confirmed in chat that it is 130k. We'll see what he gets with that. I mean, he could scum a wizard. Difficult to maybe take advantage of that wizard without the agility piece, but that movement piece is around. Who could do something with it, certainly. Spoilers, he has scummed a wizard. Well, there you go. Sort of as expected, I suppose. Well, if he has scummed a wizard, then we'll know that this game is going live, or should be available for us to check out any second now. You'll have to forgive me a little bit. They changed my dashboard. Like, I have the new Twitch dashboard, and everything looks weird to me, and it's so hard to find stuff that I want. So if I'm, like, late with anything, I apologize. Come on, game. Go live. If Dark Elves, yeah, because we had A-Grain win, and who else has won? Was it Sandune that won with Dark Elves? Like, I think it was before me, though. There we go. Perfect. That was before me. Well, we do have the last great hope of G-Man here, right? In Dreamify. So I feel that a lot of the G-Man folks out there are going to be cheering for a particular team here. So there's the Scummed Wizard. I didn't realize that Community Sport had 4 rerolls. Or do they have a leader somewhere? And I missed that? Nope, they just have 4 rerolls. That's interesting. That's fair enough. Seems like a little bit bloaty to me, considering most of your team has block and a lot of what you're going to want the rerolls for. You probably won't get a ton of value out of the rerolls, but you know, if you are used to playing with them, then that's what you do. As long as you're aware that, you know, you're handing over an extra rerolls worth of TV to your opponent. Looks like 56% of you have suggested that the Dark Elves have this one. So there's a bit of it's a little even there, I think. Personally, I think I favor the Dark Elves. Not like I want the Dark Elves to win. I mean, if I had to bet on which team would win, I would probably bet on the Dark Elves in a tipping competition, for example. I don't know if you've just gone quiet or if you're not talking or what, but I don't hear you, Carl. I'm really looking forward to this then. If Dreamify does things that will make Twitch...
I don't hear you, but I think that my sound goes through.
It does. I don't know why you're not hearing me. That's... Oh, it's Discord. Discord being dumb. One second.
Answer
Hello.
the question is because I listen and stream.
Testing.
Hi.
Can you hear me? Yeah,
Now
it was just Discord not sending my voice through, which is very strange.
All right.
But I did get you, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mute Discord. Discord mutes itself when you put up when you have OBS up. Sometimes Discord just stops accepting my mic input. Like the connection is a little fiddly. If I bump my mic, sometimes Discord thinks that I've disconnected my microphone.
I thought it kind of sorted itself.
It's all good. What was I saying? I think that I'm excited that I love it when Twitch chat gets mad about weird plays. I think it's hilarious. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Dreamify is normally an elf coach. I think Pro Elves is what he plays the most.
Yeah, that's what I remember him for. Like I've seen Dreamify play before, and when I saw Dark Elves versus Orcs and heard Dreamify, I was like, oh, Dreamify's playing elves, right? Nope.
So yeah, elf coaches that go into a bash team tends to play a bit differently than maybe a pure bash coach.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But I really like the way it usually looks. So
and
I'm probably gonna get angry, and it does have the agility to back it up.
That certainly goes the other way too. Like I'm playing Imperium right now with some agility players that I normally don't use because I'm a bash coach, and I definitely do things in a way that is probably what most agility coaches wouldn't do. It also feels cheaty sometimes though, man, when you're just like, I'll just click on the ball and leave. Can I do that? Yeah, I could do that. I'm an elf. And you just do it, and then it feels like you're cheating, you know?
Yeah, that only works when a bash coach does it.
That's true. Using elves with like movement 8 and agi 4 feels like cheating.
But then you have those games where you roll like 5 or 6 ones in a row, and that is that is 4 turns gone. When you do that with a bash team, it's only 2 turns gone.
That's true, yeah.
Dub skull, you're done with 4 of them. But when you do that as an elf, it's several turns gone, and the game is like over.
Oops. That's true. So we get the elves on offense here first.
Who won the toss? Was that Dreamify or?
I'm not actually sure. I didn't check. But I feel like the elves would. I'm not sure actually. I don't know which I would pick. That's a blitz.
Oh.
And a short kick, which is kind of what the orcs want out of a blitz, I feel here. They can just get all those strengthy pieces right up involved and hope the Dark Elves start rolling ones, as you mentioned.
Yeah. But at least the kick is in a rather alright place for Motley, considering it's short.
Yeah, it's short, and a short kick is not really great, but it's at least sort of in the middle behind a lot of his players. Yeah. If that was sort of off to the right or left, it would be a little more scary. But it's in the middle, so.
But I think we're gonna see a pretty conservative play here from Dreamify, because since he plays a lot of elves himself, the thing you're always hoping for when the opponent gets a blitz versus you is that they overcommit a tad. And then if you manage to get the ball off the overcommission, you can just be on their side of the pitch pretty safe afterwards.
Yeah, so it's certainly a balance. He's going to want to be able to get the strength in there because that's sort of what his advantage is here. But he also can't overcommit, like you say, or else the elves are just going to take it and leave.
Yeah. So
there's a bit of a balance to strike, I feel, and we'll see what he can do.
See him running back straight away with his tackle piece.
Yeah, he's going to be an important player to have, like as a safety, just one of the only tackle pieces on the field. Yeah. So I think he's very valuable in this matchup.
And what he has going for him, since the ball is in the middle, Dark Elves are slightly slower than most of the other elf teams. So just shoring up the middle is pretty alright, because the Dark Elves are not fast enough to do a effective side swap most of the time. And they can't stick in the middle.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you. You know, as I said, I'm a bash coach, and The elf team that I'm generally the least annoyed by is Dark Elves, and it's more because of the speed than anything else, right? When you play against elf teams, you understand they all have agi. Like, that's a thing. It's not the agi that's scary. It's the fact that they can just leave, and then you can't do anything about it, is the annoying part. So Dark Elves being slightly slower is the sort of the thing that I prefer about playing Dark Elves versus other agi teams.
Yeah. And we did see a very conservative blitz here from Dreamy 5, which I think was the right call.
Yeah, just knock down a player, shore up the middle, make sure that our tackle pieces are available to go after them if they run by. Get 1 or 2 guard pieces marked up in there so that the LOS blocks aren't really very good unless he commits a whole bunch of elves. And I think committing a whole bunch of elves would be a mistake.
Yeah.
And then backing off and seeing what the elves do.
I might have liked a tackler on the dodge piece there, but I also understand him wanting both of his tacklers in the backfield.
Yeah, if he still had all 4, that would probably be really good, but considering 2 of them are out for this game, and one of them is probably dead, being strength agi busted now. That I understand trying to keep them in the back. Nope, the elves do not have a bench. 0 bench for the elves. And the orcs have a goblin as a bench. The token goblin when you have a troll. But the orcs have 2 MNG players for this one. That's one thing I did mention at the start of this, is that while the elves have the same number of guard as the orcs, they've got a boatload of dodge, a couple strength pieces, a lot of really good players. They don't have a bench, and almost all of their players are good. So if they do lose a player to the couple mighty blow that are lying around, suddenly things can... That's sort of how the orcs get an advantage here, I think. He had 130k and he scummed a wizard, but I think I agree with you on that. Well, the problem is you don't have a dirty player, and yes, you do. You have a dirty player lineman, but you don't have a real bench. You've got a goblin. Like if he gets sent off, then suddenly you have no bench. But bribe fixes that. I feel like I would go for a bribe, personally, but that's because I try to win these games by removing elves, and it's probably the best way to remove elves. Although maybe he was worried that since there's so much blodge and he only has 2 tackle, that the elves would not be on the floor very frequently and he wouldn't get good opportunities to foul. That's probably a valid concern.
That's also one of the reasons you get a bribe, because when you eventually get them down, you need to capitalize on that, don't you?
Keep them down. It's hard to justify like a rando like +1 or +0 bribe when you have only 1 bench, depending on what the player is. Like if it's that witch elf on the floor or something, yeah. Or if it's the agi piece on the floor, yeah. And it's going to be hard to get a good foul, like a couple assists, without committing really hard to it. Like I mean, I can see certainly both ways, but I think personally, I probably would have gone with a bribe. But I think the thoughts here are that there are so many blodge players, it's going to be difficult for me to remove the ball from them once they have it, and the wizard is like a 2+ to remove the ball from somebody in a critical moment.
Yeah, considering
they all have blodge. That's true. The elves can't outrun Craigasm. Look at this monster.
And that might also be like some remnant of the elfiness. Getting a wizard when you can.
I feel like that's true. Yeah, an elf coach grabbing the wizard. Bash coach, the Khemri coach and the Nurgle coach say, "I want a bribe." The elf coach takes a wizard. Something seems about right to me. Oh man, I feel like naming your orc Craigasm is basically just like guaranteeing he's going to become a ridiculous player.
And between him and the thrower, Kappa Pride is second. I mean, that wizard, I think, can come quite in handy.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if we can recover the ball with an Agi 4, hurl it off to the movement 8 Agi 4, you know. Depends on where it lands, though. The issue is we don't have things like leap or what have you to get in to where the ball is. If the ball scatters and it's still in a couple tackle zones, even the Agi 4 is not going to really save you.
Yeah.
Resident Sleeper, perhaps, makes the troll. He's got no skills.
But then again, that's true for every elf game.
I mean, that's true. But a plus Agi on an orc gives you Agi 4. Plus Agi on an elf gives you Agi 5. And Agi 5 is a bit better at recovering the ball. Also, the Dark Elves are just slowly beating the orcs into submission. Orcs with two of their guard removed, meaning they're now outguarded by the elves. 2 for 2 on armor 9 is quite the start for the Murdery space elves.
Yeah, I think considering he got a blitz against him, I think he's still pretty much ahead in the dice department so far.
Yeah, I think the elves are pretty happy with how this is going. Just check the elves' teeth. Yeah, well, I mean, they're dark elves. They're probably up to something sneaky. Well, the orcs, you know, they've got the middle solidly under control, but that doesn't really help you right now. And with 2 players down, especially those being guard, and one of them being a black orc, the like sort of slam players into the dark elves is going to be quite a bit harder. And with 2 players down, the just sort of get in the way is also going to be harder, because while dark elves are slow, they'll still be able to go back and forth up the pitch, with the orcs not really having enough to like sort of full screen off everything.
Yeah, especially with a number advantage like this and all of their dodge. Probably will see Troupe get a bit more aggressive with this piling on piece, because he really needs to start removing.
I think he does. I feel like we're probably going to pile, like, we're just going to smack this blodge piece.
Yeah.
Who's out front.
And he can be pretty aggressive with this piling on, since there's not really any piece that Motley would want to foul with.
Yeah, most of his players are really valuable. Like, he's got, what, 1 rookie, and it's the one with the ball. So somehow I don't feel like fouling is really in the cards for Motley. But with a player advantage, you might consider it. But these are just KOs, so, you know, that's hard to justify. Well, there you go. Brad Garrod is down. I think we're 100% on blocks removing players so far this game.
Yeah. No, we had one. The first block was just a stun.
Well, it was a stun, so I guess 100% armor breaks.
Yeah.
Making up for the Imperium game I played earlier, where between me and my opponent, we had like 120 blocks and like 8 armor breaks or something, despite all of us having a boatload of Mighty Blow. Oh, there we go. That ruins it. There was a push that got stand firms, but that doesn't count. Shh. Every knockdown was an armor break until right there. Let me like make a story here, Slade. Come on. Well, we're getting in the way a little bit, and we're certainly basing up some of the elves, trying to get the strength going. The problem is, I mean, if the elves really want to, they can just kind of hand it off to the strength 4 guy and be like, cool, I'm strength 4, and, you know, blodge, fend. Good luck sacking me. But that's like super wizard bait, right? So what are how aggressive are the dark elves going to be here? They could go up the side, because this side is open, but that's very open to a wizard. If they stay in the middle, they're going to start getting swarmed by orcs. We'll see what happens, but
I think it's more likely that he's going to the right.
Yeah, that is also a good option. We have more players over there. Can screen off on the right a bit, but we're gonna, I think if we want to go far enough, we're gonna have to hand off to somebody if we want to go up the right hand screen.
But he's not in a hurry yet. Nope,
not at all.
I mean, as soon as he gets over the line of scrimmage, it tends to get harder to stall versus orcs. Because as far as bash teams go, I find them a bit more mobile than most. So they can really push you downwards and force you to score a bit earlier than you'd maybe want.
And by going forward, you are sort of self-splitting your team, right? You've got like 3 or 4 elves over here, and you can't get all of them around behind. So if you do go forward, you're kind of splitting your team on your own.
Yeah.
Which makes it easier to fight them and prevent a stall.
Yeah.
Man, it's hard to see what's going on. I'm going to have to zoom in. There's so many skills here. All right, elves. Who are we punching? I mean, with the guard and strength that's available, the elves can like bully these orcs pretty hard. They are gonna have to be careful though, because while the orcs, they have more guard and they can get blocks in, but you know, with armor 8 versus armor 8 and 7 versus armor 9, like in a long prolonged match, like statistically, it should eventually go to the orcs.
Yeah, but also since if the Dark Elves get like a number advantage, like
Oh,
they've done now, and they can continue. Oh, this is scary.
yeah. Well, we had to we committed a reroll to that to prevent the one die afterwards, and then
Yeah,
the reroll gave us another set of pushes.
yeah.
So I'm a little worried for Halle Buried. I feel like someone's gonna get hit really hard next turn.
Yeah, she. Oof. Yeah, she doesn't want to be there. Right next to
Nope.
the piling on mighty blow tackle piece.
Well, he had a 2-die here with Mighty Blow, and he went for it, and then it got double pushes, which
Yeah,
is aggressive, right? Like if that fails, then you get like if you get the double pushes, then you frenzy trap yourself, and then you're in a group of orcs. So he re-rolled, or Motley re-rolled to prevent that, but then it resulted in double pushes anyway, which gives us this situation we find ourselves in. Yeah, like PogChamp is salivating right now. Like PogChamp is just ready to go. I've been brought a beer. How convenient.
Alright, so I'm guessing that Motley is gonna push forward quite a lot now. Like that's the best defense as an elf coach when you have your best players in a pickle. Just move the ball as much as you can and force your opponent to
Yeah,
knock
like
the ball rather than the war dancer or witch.
yeah, sort of set up the scoring threats and be like, hey, I'm probably gonna score if you don't try to stop me from scoring here, and then they focus more on the ball and the scoring threats rather than the players. But I don't think Dreamify is gonna care, right? Like if I was about like we've got the witch in a group of orcs next to a Palmer where you can get in a pretty easy 2-die, and then the push is gonna have him follow up right into a group of your own players next to a dirty player. Like if this witch isn't removed next turn, like something magical has happened.
Yeah. But if I were Motley here, I would maybe have left Tom Shanks where he was and not shored up quite as much close to him, and then move the ball to that side as well, because that might have made PogChamp going after the agility 5 Tom Shanks instead to get pressure on the ball and thus saving the witch. But at this point, the witch is like the only thing you can probably go for.
I mean, that's fine. That's a mighty blow piling on witch. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we do knock over the Palmer, so now the Palmer's gonna have to commit his blitz if he wants to hit the witch. But I think you do it anyway.
Yeah.
And you just re-roll the piling on to try to get the armor break. Like, oof. Yeah, this is gonna be. And we've also left ourselves in a position where the orcs can't do anything to the ball anyway. Like if you give them the choice between, okay, you can hit this guy or you can go after my ball, some coaches will go after the ball, some coaches will go after the witch. In this case, when you've left your opponent not a choice other than to punch the witch, he's just going to punch the witch.
Yeah, it's not super easy to get the tackle hit on a witch though with anything else but then one dice without really committing there.
I suppose that's true. I mean, you could also just 2-die with the black orc, and then you could palm the guard piece probably.
Yeah.
You could 2-die with you're not using tackle then, annoyingly enough, but a push gets you in here, and then you can use the palm on like the guard agi piece. And it turns out that agi piece is also a really useful thing to palm. It's just armor 8 instead of armor 7. So, but I think you could go for that if you're a little bit more safety conscious. You just aim to push the witch, and then you can palm the agi 5 guy with the killer.
Yeah.
And if you get the knockdown on the witch, great. That's also wonderful. If you don't get it, then you don't get it. You can't really make it a 2-die without some nonsense. Like you'd have to, like this black orc would have to dodge, which is not like you could move the troll and then dodge the black orc and then put the black orc in here. But that seems like a lot of work just to like get a 2-die on the witch when you could do it a different way instead.
Yeah.
Like you could take this troll out and then
troll yet though.
You could move. Yeah, the troll doesn't have guard though, so that doesn't really add any.
Yeah, but he was being really stupid, so I just wanted him activated.
Oh yeah,
get rid of that.
The only way I think to get a 2-die on that witch was to activate the troll, move him somewhere so that you could dodge the orc out into the square that the troll was in, and then move the troll to or the orc to where the troll is. But that's so much work to get a 2-die on a witch. I just like getting that troll put somewhere. He's not the most useful troll against elves, just being a rookie, but he's at least some strength. Yeah, I mean, well, the orcs 2-guard have been KO'd, annoyingly enough. And the orcs are now outguarded by the elves.
They go to the 1 dice and gets it.
He does find the 1-die. So now we follow up. Let's see what happens. Armor break, injury. We don't even need to palm. Oh, man. There you go. Niggled. Is that an Apo? It is.
Oh, wow.
Still niggled.
Yeah. Was that or agility?
Yep, oh man, how terrifying is it to piling on with a niggled piece?
Yeah.
Please foul me, is basically what that's saying.
Oh wow, that was a really rough removal.
It was, yeah. That's a little terrifying. Dark Elves are now permanently down 2 players, and they're down an Apo by turn 2. The orcs have evened up the player count. So things are likely to shift into their favor if they can continue that with the Mighty Blow piling on players doing some work. But we'll see. If the orcs continue to remove, it's going to be good for them.
Turn 4 is still a scoring threat.
That's true. But do the elves feel like they need to score right now?
Well,
it depends what happens, I guess. The orcs still have a few more things to do. Well, I mean, we definitely want to keep Craigasm back here as like the threat or the safety, but you don't want to mark up anybody because he's just going to get punched. And where he is, he can hit literally the entire backfield because he's moving 8. So he just hits end turn.
Yeah, and he didn't even mark the blitzer. I'm guessing he's pretty comfortable with the Dark Elf scoring at this point.
Well, yeah, you would be. I mean, if the Dark Elves score on turn 3, that gives the orc, and the orcs still have a wizard. They've got 6 turns, and your opponent has no Apo left. So, like, you've got 6 turns to even it up while continuing to punch people, and then you go into your own drive. Like, that seems pretty good for the orcs.
Yeah.
So he's kind of
this game, though. Jesus.
What he doesn't want is the Dark Elves to stall. And the Dark Elves are going to have to do some dodging, I think, to get the ball safe. And even then, they've got just 3-ish players to move forward and get it safe. They could back off, but then they're still committing to this punch fest in the middle here.
He can do a pretty nice... he can get pretty safe by the left now if he wants to do a pass.
He's got these 4 elves along with the ball carrier that can get up along the left side here and do some screening nonsense. He could also hand off to the witch or the blitzer and then just have them in the corner. But if the ball's ever on this blitzer, that's like begging for a wizard. I mean, blotch step strength 4. Like, that's screaming lightning bolt me. But it depends on if we have a good recovery or not.
Yeah, I don't see him using it in this drive. Not if Motley goes for the sideline play.
No. Well, if being an ex-elf coach that Dreamify says anything, if he has the opportunity to use the wizard to get himself a touchdown, then he would probably consider it. But just for defensive purposes, I think he would try to avoid it.
Yeah. Now we can get really safe. There won't be an assist for Craigasm if he runs Keanu Reaver far down.
Yeah, and we've also got Kate McKilldum and, of course, Johnny Death, the ball carrier. Hillary Snuff can get somewhere, but not really. He can kind of cover off the backside on the left, but he can't cover up his right side, I guess, towards the orcs because he can't get far enough up. But you can use the witch for that, like that position, for example, and then you can move the ball up, and then you can move this guy up behind, and then you kind of have a semi-screen. Technically, the Craigasm he's Agi 4. I mean, he could 3+ his way through if he really wants to. I know the naming schemes are some of the best parts of Rebel. Big fan of the naming schemes that people come up with.
I think it's still just gonna bash some more, get a bit more position next turn, but not until like his turn 4. I think you're gonna start seeing some 3+ dodges and stuff if Motley manages to set up for a stall then.
If we want to continue the theme of making Witch Elves sad, we have a we have a Witch Elf squarely in range of PogChamp. And I don't think we can do anything to stop that. This is a very meaty center. Look at this. Like the meaty center of this Blood Bowl game. It's this orc chunk in the center of the field.
Yeah.
Not getting spread out, which certainly is good for them because they have all that strength and it's going to make it hard to get blocks on them. But it does mean that the elves can run away like this. Is this a cooking show? I mean, I wish. You get to the meaty center. That screams Palm the Witch to me. I mean, there's the assist. So here we go. Do it. Kill the witch.
I think you're see the 2 black orcs move first.
Very, very likely, yeah. Well, this black orc has a punch here, but you're not going to do that first because we could. The sidestep could be a no. Or he doesn't have sidestep. It's tackle.
No.
We'll move the black orc. We'll probably move this black orc in somewhere. If you move the dirty player first, you can get the black orc amongst the agi piece, which is something because it's guard against this black orc punch. So this would be a reasonable spot for that black orc. To get there, though, you have to move this dirty player first, though. Oh, here comes the palm.
He has 4 rerolls. I'm thinking he's going to reroll that, no?
It doesn't look like it.
Oh,
right. He has Juggernaut.
Juggernaut. Oh, Jesus.
I was like, oh, that's not going to do it, but Juggernaut is a thing. And, well, that's a dead witch.
That's a very dead witch.
Both witches gone now. Because this, as PogChamp continues his rampage through the Murdery Space Elf Troupe.
Oof. I mean, being a D-man coach and
oh my gosh,
really liking Dreamify as well, I did kind of want him to get this one, but my elf heart kind of cries a bit seeing those dead witches.
Oh man,
this is gonna hurt Motley at this point.
I like this. Dreamify is just like, I'm gonna punch one of your good elves every turn with this palm guy and then run away, and I'm just not gonna get in the way of scoring. You go score whenever you want to, but until then I'm gonna kill an elf every turn. So like, pick what turn you want to score on. The earlier the score, the more elves you have left. Enjoy.
But I do think that he needs to put a bit more pressure on anyway. Oh, okay. And that's the POW? That's fine though.
This does mean that we're going into the next game. If the elves win this, we're going into the next game wishless.
Yeah, how much money do they have in the bank? You know that?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think I can check. I think it was like 60 or 70k, if I recall correctly. Like, it wasn't a crazy amount.
So if he's lucky, he might get another witch.
Yeah, it's not like he was on 150 or anything. Like, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is looking rough for the Dark Elves.
Yeah, they have 60k? 60k is what I'm seeing.
I mean, they can very much still win this. But what about the next game?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, we're not in the regular season here, so the answer is both. Like, you can't just think about this game. You can't just think about next game, because if you don't win this game, you're not going to the next game. So you've got to go about this game. But, you know, if you don't leave yourself in at least an okay position for the next game, you're not going to win that one either. So there's a balance to be struck, but at the end of the day, this game is the one you have to get through.
Yeah.
No matter what, if you want to keep going.
And 3 people permanently out after 3 turns from the orcs, and the apothecary gone.
And no bench, so we're playing with what, 8 elves.
I mean, this happens quite a lot for like wood elves, but Dark Elves kind of needs those players.
Yeah, well, especially these Dark Elves who kind of go after the the blodge guard sort of like play style. They've got a lot of blodge. They're hard to knock down. They've got guard, but when they isolate themselves a little bit and they don't keep those guard together, and the orcs are just picking off one elf a turn with Mighty Blow piling on, it doesn't really help. Like it feels like they're trying to. Yeah, it seems a little weird. But I mean, yeah, as long as this Agi 5 guy exists, the Dark Elves can do some nonsense. The Strength 4 piece is a very useful piece. But the Witch being out means the attrition game is pretty much over. They're not going to be able to catch up to the Orcs without a Mighty Blow of their own. Yeah, us bash coaches see a plus Agi and think Agi 4, but really it's Agi 5 because they're elves and elves are cheating. Okay, there we go. The elves are not giving up any free hits other than the blitz this turn. I mean, but we're gonna blitz something. Who's the Agi guy is safely or smartly, I guess, slightly out of range of the palm guy.
I'm guessing we'll see a blitz on the sidestepper.
Yeah, I think Gene Hackman is probably the target for this turn.
Yeah.
For the palm.
I could also see him going for the movement 5 guard piece.
That's true. He could hit that as well.
It's a slightly easier to get him out. And when you're getting this so ahead in players, it might be worth going for the slightly easier target.
That's true. You're more likely to remove him. Well, I mean, if you're hitting with the palm guy, it doesn't matter because you have tackle, really. But this guy doesn't have block. Yeah, so if he's a lineman. For some, I can't tell the difference between Dark Elves. Yeah, he's a lineman, so he's slightly easier to knock down. And if you're just aiming for like continuing the attrition, then that's the way to do it. If you're more worried about specifically the fact that they have guard, or like I guess they both have guard. I think I like the guard lineman hit better. Yeah.
It goes into. I mean, if you manage to get the sidestep blitzer out, that's super. But lineman is slightly easier to get out, and when you're ahead, getting more ahead is so good.
Yeah, I agree with you. I kept trying to come up with reasons why you might consider hitting the other guy instead, but then I couldn't come up with a good one. We do commit a reroll and find the knockdown, though, so I would be very surprised if we don't follow. And well, we'll see if we remove him first.
Yeah.
Nope, no armor break even, but do we pile on?
Yeah, we do. Of course we do.
I know we do, and we all know that we do. I'm just trying to build up the suspense a little bit, you know? Do we do it? Do we not? But of course, we all know the answer is yes.
All right, and he still has Craigasm in a super good position. So I don't see the Dark Elves really stalling here.
Yeah, I think something that...
It can stall one more turn, but it's a tad risky.
I want to make sure that we're pointing this out. Like, a lot of players would see this and they would just commit everybody and they would be like, "Haha, go fight the elves! I'm winning." But Dreamify has been good about making sure that no matter where the elves go, like Craigasm hasn't done much, but it's been like the threat of this Agi piece in the center of the field that can reach literally anywhere. It's been very. It's something the Dark Elves have to consider every turn, which I think is not worth or something you need to not overlook.
Oh, wow.
Mr. Destructoid is KO'd. I mean, so the elves are keeping up, quote, with the removals. Right? They've got the same number of players on the field currently. However, these ones are a lot more permanent than those ones are. And he does take the score. So we go 1-0, and the Orcs have plenty of time to counter score. And we'll see if those KOs come back.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. Seeing the KOs.
Yeah, as I was in the middle of going on about, the orc removals are a lot less permanent than the Dark Elves are. There you go, 2 of them back. So the orcs have to field the goblin, but technically they have a full team. Keepo. Goblin's on the field. Throw the goblin. I was 1 dodge and 1 GFI away from a thrown halfling touchdown in Imperium today. I was very excited. He failed the last dodge, so I would have had to roll the GFI, I guess, but He failed the last dodge, and I was very sad about it. I won in overtime anyway, but it wouldn't have had to go to overtime if that worked, damn it.
As always, it always tickles my fancy to see throw a halfling play.
I know, right? It's fun.
Yeah.
I even gave him sprint and sure feet just for that purpose.
So we do have 4 turns with Dreamify. Normally with orcs, that is like just what you kind of need. You can do a 2 turn if you really have to. 3 turns is pretty all right, but 4 turns is like what you want.
Yeah. It's
but
on
with his team,
it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say for orcs, 4 turns is pretty much what you want. Like any less than that, and it starts to become more annoying than you want it to be. But with Craigasm, it doesn't really matter. He's moving 8. Like you just get like up here, and then he can score.
Yeah.
So.
And normally it's very, very hard. I mean, Dark Elves are one of the best defensive teams, but that requires them to have a team on the pitch. That's
very true. And the fact that we have to field 2 of our guard players on the LOS is kind of terrifying.
Yeah. I normally don't stall against Dark Elves last turn. I always score turn 7 just because I know they can be so horrible last turn if they get their sidesteppers in position. But
there's a wizard chat, I guess, going on in Twitch chat right now, and I think there's a couple of things you could do, but I think the ideal situation is not having to use it, going into your own drive 1/1, and then you have a wizard to either guarantee a score, or to, like, if you have to score earlier than you want to in the second half, you can use it on like turn 15 or something just to stop going to overtime. I think having it in your back pocket as long as possible is pretty advantageous in the situation where you're ahead players.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see him using the wizard here. Only if it really goes to shit, because you don't want to go down 0-2 after this drive. That's like the only reason I see him using the wizard here. If Motley gets a really nice play off, and he can go for 0-2.
It's probably also debatable if it would make it 1 or 1-1. Like if you can't score this half without using the wizard, you probably want to, because you don't want to go into your own drive having to score and then going to overtime. But it's debatable there. I think depends on how you feel, how many players they have left, all that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, if you get 2 more perms out now. That short kick tells me he was kind of hoping for a blitz.
Well, I like that. I mean, like, just banking on it. If you get it, great. You have a really good shot of taking care of it. If you don't get it, then, well, you're not any worse off than you were before. Ooh, perfect D is a thing. I mean, we can save some Mighty Blow hits.
Yeah. And since the kick went in the wrong direction, I'm thinking he decided to put it deep anyway.
Yeah. Showing the power of kick.
Yeah, the blitz wouldn't have done that much for him.
Nope. We can move some elves off the troll and PogChamp to prevent free Mighty Blow hits. PogChamp is still going to be able to blitz somebody, but he was going to Mighty Blow somebody no matter what you did, so might as well make him have to dedicate the blitz to it, I suppose. Could also leave the rookie guard piece there, just on him to tie him up a little bit, but I mean, that's a little scary. You do have to have 3 people on the LOS, I suppose. It's kind of in the rules of the game.
It's kind of in the rules.
But I mean, he could put him like over here or something if he really wants to avoid this, but then he's not getting in the way at all over here, so there's a balancing act, I suppose. And this elf is the elf you care about the least on your team, I think. I mean, yeah, he's got guard, but he's also moving 5.
Yeah.
The orcs are going to have a hit here. They're going to have a hit here, although this one is on a dodge piece without tackle. They're going to have a hit here, but once again, it's on a dodge piece without tackle. they have a 1 die, or they have an uphill against the strength 4 piece, which isn't particularly great unless they commit other players to it, and I don't think they're going to.
It was a hard call there because, I mean, that guard piece, if Craigasm wasn't on that side, I think he would have put that guard piece further to the right and save him the free Mighty Blow hit there. But he kind of needs pieces on that side because it's just a 2+ with a reroll and then a 2+ with a team reroll to get the ball to Craigasm, and all of the orcs are there, so he needs to put pieces in front of him.
Yeah, otherwise you just give up, right? You have to do something, or you're just saying, here you go, score, while you continue to beat me to death.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to do something, but it is a little scary. All right, here comes the hit. Coming from the Black Orc, though, so we're saving the PogChamp for the Blitz. Which makes sense, because this guy doesn't have dodge, so the tackle is, quote, wasted. So you can probably get that get a better hit elsewhere.
Yeah, but I don't see him going for any of the dodge pieces this turn with him. But he does have more movement as well, and he wants players a bit further up.
Yeah, it helps, even if you pile on, you know, getting him further forward is better. He's got more movement than the Black Orc does.
I'll also see if he decides to move the ball forward this turn or wait a bit.
That's true.
Because if he wants to move the ball, then he should probably do that before moving PogChamp in case of snakes. But he does have time and agility 4 on his thrower. So being an elf coach, I see him hanging back a bit where the Dark Elves can't reach him this turn with the thrower, and just think about position this turn.
That looks like the start of a cage to me, perhaps. Here comes the Blitz, just going on the rookie lineman. Double pushes. Do we commit a reroll?
Oh.
Nope. Oh, dear lord. We commit the greed reroll and double skull it. So, there you go.
He's still in a pretty good position. I think that Motley almost needs to go for this. It's a hard sack. 4+, 3+, 2+2+, and then a 3+, 2+, 2+2+ for the 2 die.
He could use the blitzer over here, right?
4, so it's just a 3+, 2+, 2+2+.
Yeah, 3+, 2+, 2+2+, and he can 2 die the thrower. I was going to say that the Dark Elves don't have any strip ball or anything, so just having the ball on Craigasm is good. He's block. You don't need to worry about like the sure hands or anything. But so I was assuming that we were going to come up here, do the 1 GFI and hand off, but we double skulled. So there you go. The elves,
I think we would have passed rather than done the GFI.
Oh yeah, it's a 2+ pass with a reroll. Yeah, so might as well. I forgot that he was agi. Yeah, the Dark Elves have a 3+2+, 2+2+, 2 die, which
and if he gets it, it kind of forces Dreamify to use the wizard here.
Yeah, you might. You had to spend your Apo, but you might be able to force your opponent to spend the wizard. Even if you don't like score off this, you might eat their wizard, which is probably worth it. Yeah. And depending on where the scatter goes, there's potentially the option of even like getting there and getting the ball with another elf. Like, so that elf is now a scoring threat, and potentially just an annoying backfield piece for the next turn. But yeah, I'm excited to see this sack.
Yeah, if he breaks armor as well on that thrower, it's really a pickle for Dreamify. Then it needs to both use the wizard probably and recover the ball with Craigasm, which really stunts his forward momentum.
Knocking down that Black Orc there leaves the whole center open for like Johnny Death to come through, and if the and it also makes it just a 3+, 2+ for Gene Hackman now to dodge through. So if the ball scatters in one of the forward squares, the elves could potentially just pick it up this turn. But it's going to have to scatter forward for that to happen.
Yeah, and he put that lineman exactly where I was going to say that he probably should put him.
We're just trying to screen off.
Oh,
Well, there goes that.
There goes that. But wow, he really, if that would have succeeded, he could have won the game, or at least take it to overtime.
Oh, certainly worth trying. And I like that he left these players back here just in case something bad happened, and he did put these players here in case something good happened. We've at least screened off the recovery from the movement piece fairly well. And even now, it's not trivial for the orcs to get it safe. I mean,
absolutely,
it's not terribly difficult, but it's not free.
Not by any means. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. He can pretty easily do a 2+2+ with a built-in reroll to get kind of safe.
The double skulls gave the Dark Elves an opportunity, and then it was immediately snatched away with a 1 in 9. The dodge rolls.
Alright, it looks like he's going for the pass.
Yeah, we have a 2-die block now here with this black orc on one of these. We can 2-die the guard piece. We could also 2-die the guard piece, and then we have that frees up some more PogChamp to blitz somebody. Another one down. Bobby Moynihan. So PogChamp is free to hit somebody else, but it's a GFI to hit either of the screening elves currently.
Yeah, I would probably just go for the tryhard. Blitz on Johnny Death, because that's enough to get the 2+ pass.
Yeah, you can move the wrestle piece in and then blitz, perhaps, or you could go with.
Yeah, now we put the Gobbo there. Oh, I don't know what he's doing now.
He's what he's going to do is I think he's trying to give the ball to Craigasm. Yeah, so he's going to blitz Tom Shanks with PogChamp to open up a lane here, and then he's going to pass to Craigasm and then have Craigasm run down the side, and those two pieces were being used as a screen. We don't find the knockdown, but a push is good enough to let us through, is it not?
Yeah, but this is no longer a 2+. I don't like that play. I thought there was a lot safer plays to do.
If we GFI, it's a 2+.
Yeah, I think that was a bit too many dice.
So 1 GFI to make it a 2+. Pass is good. Catch is good. And now we can run him down here.
Be 2 steps to the left of the kicker. I probably want to go deeper because Johnny Death there.
We our results-based analysis suggests that this was good.
Yeah.
There were better ways to do that, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, but it worked.
We have a 2+. Never mind. There we go. I was going to say, if you leave him there, Johnny Death is still technically in range. Right now, Hillary Snuff is still in range, but it's a 3+ first, so it's a 3+, 2+, and then a 1 die, which is not exactly the greatest sack attempt in the world.
Yeah, but 2 GFIs and you can make that a 2 die with Hillary Snuff.
Yeah, and if Mel Gibson.
Wait, that blitzer actually. Oh, he blocks with him. No, he doesn't. That blitzer can get there with guard.
Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we can put guard in front of the goblin and have guard there, and then we can get a 3+, 2+, 2 die out of Hillary Snuff, right?
Yeah.
Trying to take away the. In case this works, we're going to mark up the guard player. Although that, it doesn't matter. It's going to be 3+, 2+ anyway.
It's not in the way. Interesting.
Let's see what happens here. I feel like we're probably going to try to sack Craigasm. If it works, you have a pretty good chance of going into your opponent's drive up 1-0, which is pretty good for the Dark Elves. And if it doesn't work, well, they were probably going to score anyway.
Yeah.
I think you could have done that without the GFIs, right?
Yeah, you could. But, oh yeah, this is actually better.
That makes more sense, I guess. It's easier dodges, but you had to do the GFIs first.
Yeah.
And we can potentially recover with Hillary Snuff now if we really want to. But it's in 2 tackle zones, so that makes it a bit of an ask, I think. Yeah, this is better. I didn't realize the Blitzer could have gotten there.
That explains the GFI.
Yep.
I kind of feel Dreamify gave him this chance by going for the play he did. If he were to blitz with the Wrestler instead of PogChamp earlier, then PogChamp would be down here now with the...
yeah, I think he was just... I mean, it's partially, you know, PogChamp is more likely to knock him down because of tackle, but also, like, it's really tempting because you have the piling on Mighty Blow. Like, if you get a knockdown, not only do you get the guy out of the way, but you also get a chance at removing him. Uh-oh.
But I would have gone for the lineman, so it would be an equal chance to get him down, even higher since you had wrestle and no dodge.
I don't think we were going for the recovery there, considering the ball is in 2 tackle zones, but I think what we wanted to do is just get another elf tackle zone on that ball to make it harder for the orcs to recover it.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to push him off and get the ball. That's the easy part.
Yeah.
The hard part is afterwards getting the ball safe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can blitz just like this black orc, for example. Get the ball free, and then we can 2+ dodge to get the ball and then leave. The problem is all the other orcs are marked. So it's going to be super hard to get him safe from the elves. Especially when, like, you know, this strength 4 guy exists, the guard guys exist. It's going to make it really hard to not just give up a 2-die on your ball afterwards. I mean, if you were super aggressive, you could put the goblin in the end zone, pick it up, and then pass it to him, and just score now. But that scoring makes it safe, but that gives your opponent a 1-turn attempt, and it's also pretty terrifying in that if it fails, you just probably don't score. But it's an option. Uh-oh.
Oh.
What do they say about orcs and GFIs? Okay. That was really scary.
Yeah. And then also, if he fails and he gets a kick in, the Dark Elves has a pretty good scoring threat of themselves, depending on how the balance is.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
You shouldn't have chain pushed it into the sidestep guy, because the sidestep guy just sidestepped himself onto the ball.
Yeah.
All you had to do is leave the sidestep guy alone. I mean, you could have blitzed with this black orc here instead. You're not likely to knock him down because you don't have tackle. But you could have just all you had to do is push him out of the way, and then you had a 2+2+ to get the ball. Yeah. Which I think was probably the better choice than what we did.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He actually has a pretty good chance of going 2-0 here.
Yeah, I mean, we have a 2+ out with the strength guy, and it's a 3+ pickup, 2+ handoff, 2+ dodge, pass to the AGP score. Couple 2+s, maybe 1 3+ thrown in there. Elves can just this is going to be really bad for the orcs if this works out. The elves could potentially also... We have guard here, actually. The elves can even blitz this guard orc. If we get a push, it doesn't make it any harder, but if we get a knockdown, it makes it easier. So we could blitz this guard orc with, like, the kick elf, for example. Or we could even just punch him with the blitzer if we use the kick elf as an assist. Are we just blitzing with the strength 4?
Yeah.
So I think this is going to give us a bit harder of a pass because we lose some movement if we pick up with this with Johnny Death.
But it's also pretty... It's hard to get the score, but it's easier to get the ball somewhere where the orcs cannot do any...
Oh yeah, you just go for the long pass, and if you make it, you score, and if you don't get it, well, the orcs probably don't score anyway, so...
Yeah.
I'm too lazy to do the math, but I don't know if you had picked up with somebody else and handed off to this guy and then gone further, if like the 2 saved squares of movement would have made a difference for the pass or not. I'm too lazy to do the math, but looks like it doesn't matter anyway.
I have to reroll. You have to reroll.
That's true. There we go. I don't know if the I'm unsure if the 2 squares of movement is going to make a difference or not, but
Yeah, I might actually consider not doing the dodge and pass here, but just punt it. It's
well, you
a
don't
coward's way out.
you don't have to make a dodge. You can just go around, right?
Yeah, but then it's a 6+, right?
You can GFI. Fails the pass.
Okay, so he still has. Let's see, where's the side stepper? That's a side stepper. Yeah, this is a pretty good odds of getting the score in here anyway.
Well, then GFI would have been being better. I mean, so I don't know. There was an option there to do this by handing off to this guy instead, and then he would have been here for the pass, which without it would have been an extra 3+ or 2+ for the handoff, I think, right?
Yeah.
But you wanted to make a 2+ to make this a long pass anyway, and then you would have had the option of even doing an extra 2+ GFIs to get to here and then throwing it. So I think maybe handing off is better, but who knows?
Yeah.
In any
I
case,
think it's gonna go for the goblin score maybe. That way he's less.
Man, pushing into that sidestepper was such a big mistake, I think.
Yeah, I think that those 2 turns were a mistake. I think he got a bit like too comfortable with the situation.
So now we can. So if we now we have this is a 2 dice to the goblin.
Yeah.
So we can punch the blitzer, and no matter where he sidesteps to, he's not on the goblin anymore. And then we can get it to the goblin and score.
Strength 4. He needs to go. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah, we can go in with Pogjamp.
But this way he picked up on a 3+ instead.
We also get to pile on, however.
Yeah.
Although there's a tree in the way. That was some good view. Thanks, Cyanide.
So it's a 3+, 2+ extra now since he didn't use a blitz on Johnny Depp.
Yeah, so 3+ to get the ball, but it's rerollable. Then a 2+ out, not rerollable, but we do have a team reroll. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'd have to GFI to hand off to the goblin. So it's going to be 3+, 2+, 2+, 3+, 2+.
That's a thing. 2+ is fine.
Okay, do we GFI?
No, we pass.
You pass because you have pass. Yeah, either way, it's a 2+. Pass is good. Catch is good.
So it's a 2+ GFI.
Goblin, he does it. Goblin touch. That levels the goblin too.
Yeah, so you probably need to fire that one now.
Goblined. Get goblined.
Yeah, I think he got off a bit easier there than
he probably deserved.
Yeah.
The chain pushing the sidestep was like, I can see an argument for going with the slightly harder play in order to get an extra like piling on mighty blow hit like he did the turn before, but chain pushing into the sidestep was I mean, he probably just didn't see that he had sidestep. I do that all the time, but it's still sort of objectively a mistake.
Yeah, I think I would have wanted to get back even to the turn before. I don't think that hit was worth the risk. Because he was already in such a great position. It wasn't worth risking anything those last 2 turns.
Well,
since he's setting up for another offense straight afterwards.
Yeah. Well, that certainly worked out for the Orcs. They're back up to their full strength. They have all their KOs. They're 1-1 going into their drive, and they have their wizard.
Yeah.
And the Dark Elves even didn't get their KO back, so they're down to 7. So things are looking a little grim for the Dark Elves here now.
Yeah. And he has a player advantage, apothecary advantage, fame advantage, reroll advantage, everything.
Everything advantage.
Everything advantage.
I feel like this is Dreamify's game to lose now.
Yeah, definitely. On that note, I'm gonna go and make myself some more coffee.
Okay.
And take 5 spoonfuls of honey, and I'll be back.
I need to go get more coffee because I've been brought beer. Although, wouldn't it be like 7 or 8 p.m. where he is? I'm not sure what time zone he's in. But I know he's G-Man, which is, you know, roughly UTC plus 1-esque, which is 4 to 5 hours ahead of me. So coffee seems interesting this late. I was just commenting on your late coffee.
Yeah, well, it's mostly because I'm sick. I've been lying in bed most of the last 2 days. So yeah.
Goblin also rewarded with a level for his touchdown. Yeah, it is 3 p.m. where I am now, so, and I'm 4 hours behind UTC.
Yeah, I don't even know what time it is. Let's see. Oh, it's just 8. All right, now I'm going for that coffee.
Quick snap. Man, between the kickoff return and the quick snap, this thrower has moved 4 squares. I think kickoff return is an undervalued skill on throwers. I mean, one of the big weaknesses of the orc throwers is they're so slow. But kickoff return makes them sort of pseudo movement 8 on the kickoff, which I think is a pretty big deal for a team that wants to get that ball safe and then involved in the cage or punchy. You know, after block, I really like kickoff return on orc throwers. It's good on a lot of bash teams. It depends on the team. Mostly it's because mostly you can't necessarily afford it when you have other skills you need to get. But considering the thrower's job is to kind of get the ball and then give it to a blitzer, you don't have to worry about him like getting sacked or anything. Like on Nurgle or Chaos, you want to get block and you want to get sure hands, then you want to get dodge, and then you want to get like 2 heads or extra arms or whatever. And you just can't really afford to get kickoff return. But on orcs, it's very well suited as like a second skill. Once you got block, you're kind of good to go. Because the orc thrower's job in like a more developed orc team is to just pick up the ball and hold on to it until you can give it to someone better than you. Namely a blitzer. Slightly more movement, already have block, especially when you have Craigasm on your team. And you want to feed them the SPP anyway. I think it's really good. And probably undervalued. I have it on a ghoul, on an undead team, interestingly enough. But that was specifically because I didn't think it was like, I think it was clan, and it was like, I have a level pending. This team is probably only playing 1 more game. I think it'll be useful on this one next match that I'm playing, and then we kept the team around instead of getting rid of it. So now the ghoul still has kickoff return. Oh well. Trying to get the ball safe just in case we won in 36 this pickup. Getting orcs in position. All we have to do really for Dreamify is to be safe, right? Like you can be hyper aggressively safe, and that's all you really need to do. Because the elves are down 4 players. You know, you just be super safe all the time. You spend your 8 turns slowly going up the pitch. You score in turn 16, and then you win game while you try to remove an alpha turn. It's totally in Dreamify's advantage to just play slow and safe and steady. No need to risk anything. No need to move players forward to get more hits next turn. It's just be incredibly safe all game and you probably win. We are going to foul with this dirty player though. Would bribe have been the correct thing to take here? No, it doesn't matter so far. Results-based analysis dictates wizard was good. Even though we haven't used it yet. But the bribe wouldn't have been used so far. Alright, Dark Elves. I mean, it's so hard here. You can't really just charge in. You're probably going to lose. End of turn Firebolt. I mean, we can try to pick off an orc or 2, and just back off, try to get in the way. I mean, if the elves don't play, if the elves don't play aggressively, the orcs are just going to sit there and be safe for 8 turns. If the elves do play aggressively, they have to get lucky. So I guess we'll see what kind of elf coach Motley is. but I think you might have to be hyper aggressive here and just pray that the dice work. It might be the situation that we're in as these elves, if you're dedicated to winning. Sometimes one of the things that is a useful skill to recognize is when it's time to go balls to the wall, as it were. You know, when do we just start throwing dice and hoping it works? And that's probably pretty soon for these elves, considering they don't have very many players left, and the orcs just have to be safe. My girlfriend is listening to Nickelback in the other room, and I'm kind of worried. She's assembling IKEA furniture listening to Nickelback, which is very weird. And I'm sure she'd be very pleased that I just told 50 people that. To be fair, I think it's just on some random Google playlist, and it's picked up that song, and she just hasn't told it to go to the next one yet. But there you go. Okay, so the elves just get in the way a little bit. We punch one orc, and we don't really get a whole lot out of it. But we are in the way. I think it's just some random rock playlist that has happened to switch to that. The elves are in the way, so the orcs can't just go forward freely if they want to. They also don't really care, right? They're just gonna, like, hit stuff. Like, here we go. Don't find the knockdown there. Is this worth greeting? I mean, we have 4 rerolls. To be fair, I am Canadian, so quoting Letterkenny at me is fair. Although I'm from Nova Scotia, so quoting Trailer Park Boys is probably more accurate. If you want to quote a Canadian TV show. I used to run in... Mr. Leahy actually lived out by where I grew up, and I used to run into him at the gas station all the time. Oh, Letterkenny is so good. Such a good show. And it's surprisingly accurate, knowing, being from Canada and knowing people like that. It's surprisingly accurate. He's actually the nicest person in the world. Like, I've talked to him before. I mean, he's dead now, unfortunately. But he was like a big... Oh, speaking of things that are dead. Wow, that was a terrible segue, because that was a real person I was talking about. Keanu Reaver is dead, and that's the second elf that goes down.
Came back precisely when he said Keanu Reaver dead.
Oh man, that's a strength 4 elf just dead. Oof. Oof. Oh god, that's terrible. That's the strength 4 Blodgestep Fend elf dead. Oh man, that feels bad. Yeah, but I had talked to him, and he's nothing like the character in real life. He's a super nice dude. Like, didn't drink in real life. Pillar in the sort of local arts community. Spent a lot of his free time making stuff out of concrete, like, which is kind of weird, but that's what I like to talk about, is concrete. So there you go. Anyway, back to the game. The elves are yeah, he's an interesting dude. The elves are dying quickly. Yeah, he survived a, like, kill div. His game before this was Nurgle, and he came through it with, like, 1 MNG or something, right? And then this. These orcs are just ruining the elf day, unfortunately. Well, all the G-Man enthusiasts in chat will be pleased that G-Man still has their great hope left. Maybe we'll kill some orcs in retaliation. I was really hoping he would die, just so that the, like, caster curse meme would continue. I was really hoping for that, because I thought it would be fun. But oh well, it's not to be. I don't even remember who I tipped. I think I got I always take the first round of the tipping competition seriously, and I, like, look up every team and I go through and then I tip them, And then about 3/4 of the way through, and I'm like, man, there's still like 20 teams left that I have to look up. And I just kind of give up and start clicking on stuff. And then every team after that, I just sort of like, I don't want to look everybody up again. And then I just sort of click on things for most of the rest of the tipping competition. Most of my choices are essentially random after the first round. I just kind of pick whoever I recognize. Is generally what happens. Hey, okay, Sean, man, the website emails you when you have 24 hours left. So if you miss the deadline, that's your own fault.
Alright, so anything barring a miracle now, and Dreamify has this.
Yeah, I think it's Dreamify's game to lose.
Yeah.
Well, here comes PogChamp again. I mean, oh no, I was gonna say, do you pile on? But no, you don't. You don't bother. He's gone anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Another elf down. We've got 5 elves remaining on the field, and a cube of orcs in the center.
Yeah, at this point, there's really nothing he can do that is wrong, except like running his thrower out to the sides unassisted. That's basically it.
Pretty much. I mean, at least, like, I think I was talking while you were gone a little bit that all Dreamify has to do is just play super safe. Like, you just ultra safe, punch an elf or 2 every turn, and then just be super safe, and you'll win this eventually. And the elves probably have to be hyper aggressive if they want to win, so they'll come to you. If they don't want to win, then they'll just leave, and then you walk forward slowly in a giant meat cube.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question, Wolfram. The tipping competition is on like that Face Your Fears, whatever it is. And I don't know if you can look at it without signing in or not. I have no idea. But I don't think there's a way to look at it on a different site. It's all managed through that one. So if that requires you to sign up, then I guess you're required to sign up. I think all it needs is an email and a password, though, to be fair. So just you could use like a fake email or like a throwaway email if you're like worried about stuff, and it wouldn't really bother you. It's just the email is only for account recognition and like reminding you about stuff. I'm Canadian, Nanya, so like I am gonna talk like they do sometimes. Although I'm Atlantic Canadian, so you know, not quite rural Ontario, more rural Maritimer.
I think we might see him actually start taking some position now anyway.
I'm in Halifax. Well, the troll was really stupid. Not that he really has been very useful this game anyway.
Well, he did kill Keanu Reeves.
I mean, I suppose that's true. Like, it does give him 2 SPP. He's on his way. He needs to get 4 more SPP so he can be caught up to his goblin buddy. Because if you have a troll, you have to have a goblin. And the goblin's leveled, so clearly the troll needs a level too. It's very important.
Yeah, so that he can get strong arm.
Here comes the blitz from Tom Shanks. I think we're just going for it. Dives into the cage and red dices. Doesn't find it though. We do Oh, there it is!
He does.
Oh, I love it. I love the balls. Just fuck it. I'm going for it. There's my one. I don't care. Oh, we don't want that to scatter that way though.
Oh.
That was about the worst decision. And by decision, I mean for the ball. Because the ball made the decision to go there. If that had scattered this way, that would have been amazing for the Dark Elves.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the aggressiveness there. Because like I said, I think you just have to. You're going to lose if you don't do crazy things. So you might as well go for it. And
that's actually the reason why I say we might see Dreamify go position now. Because at this point, there's nothing left for Motley to do but doing those crazy plays. And I mean, sometimes they do work out.
Yeah, I mean, the cage dive wasn't even all that unreasonable considering he was dodge and agi 5. The uphill working out was pretty nice. But man, that scatter. If that had scattered like over this way, like we could have just been gone as the elves.
That would probably have been a lightning bolt and a retrieval with Craigasm, but still, it would have been something.
Yeah, and there's a chance for the lightning bolt to fail. Like, and at this point, you kind of have to hope that dice work, right, or don't work for your opponent. So, like, putting yourself in a position where your opponent has to roll a 2+ to stop you is better than just sitting there and letting them win, right? Like, a 2+ still fails 1 in 6 times.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so he'd be gone from everybody but Craigasm, which means he has a lightning bolt or he has a 1 die. But either way, it's a 2+, which they have to roll, which is better than not having to roll anything.
Absolutely.
Although if Tom Shanks doesn't get a boot to the face this turn, I would be really surprised. Someone is going to get kicked. Although I suppose it's an orc lineman and they like kind of double hammer blow it with their fists. They kind of go thump thump with their foul motion rather than anything else. Oh, we failed the pickup though. So reroll dedicated. Okay, we got it. Here comes the blitz going in on the guard piece. And, I mean, we're going to punch him and we're going to pile on. Thanks to the follow, Shinshiro and boy.
At this point, he got the KO anyway.
Never mind. Doesn't need to pile on.
I actually think that I might have not piled on there anyway.
4 elves left?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Where's the 4th? There's the 4th, yeah.
2 of them are on the floor.
Yeah.
No worries. You're under no obligation to follow or not. Only if you happen to enjoy what I do. Hey, that elf is okay. Alright, and here comes the foul, probably. I mean, we're either going to foul the Agi or the Strength. They're both pretty valuable. Looks like we're hitting the Agi. And? Nothing. I don't know why you have to be so mean to me, True Blue. Why would you do this? Well, to be fair, I mean, I probably do. I'm not really sure why, but I'm sure there's a reason why I do.
And he doesn't have any sidestepper left on the pitch.
Nope, he's got 2 elves on the floor, a token scoring threat, and a rookie.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, I mean, are we gonna just go for it with the rookie? I mean, we're gonna get him out front. Is there any feasible way of the Agi getting there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, there really isn't. There's a lot of Canadians. There are a lot of Canadians in REBBL.
Oh, 5+, 1 die, gets it.
I love it. He's just... No, we're going for this.
1, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The Agi guy can get there. 1, 2, 3, 4.
There.
Yeah, the Agi guy can get there with some dodges, and he's Agi 5, so there you go.
You can actually get away from being connected as well.
Yeah, I mean, you could even hurl it to Hillary Snuff. It's not an easy pass, but it gets it away from the orcs. Yeah. Dodge 1 and 2 made? Or no, dodge 1 made. We had to reroll it with dodge, though. So the remaining dodges are a little scary, but we do them anyway.
Yeah.
There's the dodge. Now we have the 2+ pickup. Oh my god, I love this. I just... No!
Oh, but you still have a team reroll.
Do it. You've got to go for it at this point. You've committed.
Oh.
No, he fails the pickup. I love that he's just going for it every chance, but every time it almost works. You know, yeah. The scatter failed. The scatter is bad. The pickup was a 1. Like,
yeah,
he's going for it every turn, and it's almost working.
That was a lot of dice. That was a lot of dice.
Yeah, I mean, it was not likely to work, but it did, and it's that thing, right? You set up this like long play to try to score, and you know it's probably unlikely. Like at the start of the play, it's like, oh man, this is a 20% because of all the dice I've got to string together. But then everything works, like except for the GFI at the end of it or something, and they're like, oh, if it was only not for that 1+. or that 2+, that 1 dice.
Yeah,
No,
to just get that orc down was a 1 in 9 to succeed.
I know, like it's so much. At the start of it, it's unlikely, so you don't expect the sequence to work. But by the time you get to the end, it feels so bad when it doesn't, because you've made all the other stuff, you know. Well, we'll move some orcs around. We will punch some dark elves. We'll pick up, presumably with the thrower, because sure hands. We do only have we only have 3 rerolls left, so you know you got to conserve those.
At this point, just to be even more safe, I'd actually like a blitz on Hillary's snuff.
Yeah, I mean you could. Just to take away
everyone,
that threat.
Everyone there does have a free block on them already. Okay, he doesn't go for that one.
I mean, that's interesting. He could have just hit with the Black Orc rather than the tackle guy.
That's what I would have done.
And the Black Orc, even a push is good enough because it pushes you out of range, and then you would have had...
Oof.
He's just surrounding the ball in guard. Like, if you want to blitz me, here you go. Everywhere is guard.
Yeah, but I mean, he can still, like...
It's still uphill, which is what he's been doing this whole time, so...
Yeah, and he can still, I think, get a... As it looks now, he can get a 1 die on the agility piece. Some dodging required. Oh, now it's harder. But if he were to get that, he could scatter the ball when an agility 5 dodge piece there. It's scary. I'm guessing it's gonna retrieve with the thrower now.
Yeah, we're probably gonna pick up with the thrower for sure hands. Although, I mean, we still have the, like, 2+ uphill, which we've seen that Motley is not afraid to just hurl at the ball.
Yeah.
It's alright, he'll have it. If we pick up that ball and don't leave, which we're going to throw GFIs to do, that was a scary sure hands, 1 into a 2. Good thing we have the agility.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right.
So I mean, we can just 2+ uphill this ball again. But we don't have really much in the way of recovery unless it like happens to scatter to like the Black Orc or the Blitzer, and then they don't catch it and it scatters again more towards the center of the pitch so that the strength guy can reach it. If it scatters off to the right, like we can't really do anything about that. But I think you just go for it. I mean, you might as well.
Yeah.
Can't get any worse. There you go. There's the 2+. Here's the uphill. Reroll it. Damn it.
All right.
Well, it's not going to work 3 times in a row. I appreciate the effort, though. All right, now we're going to move forward. Cage up. Black Orc is
round that player.
Yeah, just go for the full 9-man cube. So he can't block him anywhere. You can't dodge in if there's no squares to dodge into.
I mean, at this point, that's pretty legit.
I mean, yeah, he'll put like 2 players on either side of the strength guy, probably 2 players on either side of the lineman, and then foul the agi piece, and block the kick guy up there with the Black Orc while caging up. Like, you can do all of that. Like, Black Orc, guard, lineman, player here, or like player here, and then, you know, player stomp. Like, we have a lot of options here, but I would probably foul that agi guy if I was playing this as the orcs. No, the one unfortunate thing about this is that the goblin is not on the pitch, so we can't turn 16 lightning bolt our own goblin. Alright, so we Although we if we don't have a, so we do have a full, we will be able to have a full cage, but we won't have guard on opposite corners, as far as I can tell, meaning that, like, technically you could come in from the front and, you know,
no,
do something, but there's not enough movement.
You can put one guard, I guess, to the right of the thrower, to the thrower's right, my left, probably your left as well, and then guard will cover that square as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty irrelevant at this point because there aren't enough elves to do anything about it. We even find the POW on Hillary Snuff, and an armor break. So there you go. It's pretty well. I mean, it's been over for 6 turns, but hey, not aiming to get more assists there. We'll just take the +1. And he's fine. Click Agi, click ball. Let's go.
You know, it's not that good.
I don't think so, but you know, hey, you never know. It's only a -1, -3, -3, and then uphill.
Yeah.
Nope. I mean, there's the first one. Oh, I mean, he did. To be fair, he did click Agi, click ball. He just didn't quite make it. That's I think that's gonna be that. I mean, we're gonna move the thrower into scoring range. I don't think you risk. I mean, I guess you have 3 rerolls, so if you really care about scoring on somebody else,
but he can just. All right, I thought he was just gonna do a full man screen, so there were not enough squares to go around, but.
Yeah, he's just gonna cage.
He could have done that. He could have just put one long string of players.
Yeah, just like a line of orcs, just a meat wall to stop the elves from physically going through.
Yeah, there's no need to be like.
Yeah, I mean,
caging stuff.
You're giving your opponent like a hit, I guess. It's not likely. I was gonna say, like, if you really wanted to, you could try to like hand off to somebody now because you've got 3 rerolls in 2 turns. But I don't think you do. It's playoffs. Like, just be ultra safe and guarantee that you go to the next half. Like, and plus there's nobody who's gonna level off a touchdown, is there? I mean, technically that black orc, but I don't think that's worth it.
Like that foul, I would probably not even have done it.
Oh, so we do get a line of orcs in the way, even if that foul didn't work. It would have been super difficult for the elves to get in there, and the foul makes it impossible. So that's gonna be it. I mean, you probably just don't even stand up players. Yeah, just hit end turn. Yeah. And nobody to hit, so we exchange our GGs and then we score and then try to prevent the 1-turner. You don't have a bribe, so you definitely don't foul. I mean, even if you had a bribe, I don't think you'd foul.
No, definitely not. And he really don't have the players to do a 1-turning.
No, it's not. I don't think it's possible. Especially not with the KOs not coming back.
Yeah, if you got like 2 out of those 3 back and his movement plus piece weren't like, what is it? Yeah, dead. Then he might have had a chance.
He might have had a chance to 1-turn if his plus movement guy wasn't dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're praying for a riot, I guess, and we don't have a security gate because we have a beer stand. Which is not coming to play, actually.
Nope.
So that's going to be game. 1 turn. Well, I guess a riot is possible. We should consider the fact that a riot could exist, and Motley could 2-turn, but it's pretty unlikely.
Yeah, Dreamify is very wisely not placing his players to.
No, it's going to be
to stop a 1-turning. Is placing them for a riot.
Yeah, the 1 turn is pretty much impossible. With the number of players there are, you just want to try to put some players in places that will prevent the easy run bys, putting the black orcs out on the side, the 2 movement tackle guys in the middle to run after any of the scoring threats that get around if there is a riot.
Yeah.
And then we kick off and we pray there isn't a riot if you're the orcs, and then accept your win. But Motley is begging for a riot here.
Yeah.
probably exchanging some words, some GGs, as it were. And G-Man's playoff hopes continue.
Yeah.
And they'll be playing the winners of the game that occurred just before this game, if I recall correctly. I won't spoil anything there, but if you were around for that game, you know exactly who the winning team here plays, because they're on the same side of the bracket.
Also, on a personal note, it's nice to have a Swede also going through this round.
Dreamify is a Swedish person?
Yeah.
There you go. There's a lot of Swedes in REBBL.
Yeah. Bubbo is pretty popular here. Oh, Mel Gibbs.
Well, even if there was a riot, the one potential scoring thread on a riot got hit by a rock instead of there being a riot. So, you know, just to add insult to injury, I guess. Well, we'll throw a couple blocks and see if we can get some revenge.
I wonder if he keeps the team.
Well, that's a question for Motley.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still some good players here. I mean, we got a strength 4 lineman. The only thing that we're really missing is, I guess both witches are dead. One of them is dead and the other one is niggled, so you kind of... and that the other witch being niggled is also a palm witch, so like you're piling on Mighty Blow player being niggled really disincentivizes you from piling on sometimes, so that can be pretty terrifying. You do have the Agi Blitzer, but apparently he can't pass, so... and there you go.
But normally you don't pile on with a witch if you can't make her safe anyway. So
that's true. So yeah, the witch is probably worth.
And the troll also
around.
leveled, so now we have a level troll and goblin.
Oh, the troll got the perfect. I even called that before. The troll needs to level up to match his goblin friend, and it looks like they've they've both picked up a level this game.
Yeah.
Excellent. I love it. All right. That's going to be this quarterfinal match. I don't actually know when the next one is. There's a Challengers Cup quarterfinal on Wednesday at 10 p.m. UTC. And that's my favorite things and the Commodious Thunder. And a little self-plug here. If you happen to care about me, I'll be playing my clan match in about 20 minutes here. I'll drop the stream until then, so you're not sitting around here with nothing to do for 20 minutes. But I'll be back personally in about 20 minutes to play clan if you care. But there's no other playoff coaches to send you to, so thanks everybody very much for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the match. Congratulations, Dreamify, coming in with the raid. Commiserations to the Murdery Space Elf Troupe.
Yeah,
that was quite a game. There are some good moments, and I mean, it was pretty much over by the time we hit sort of the second half, but the first half was really exciting, and I love how Motley just kept going for it the second half. There's so many like ridiculous elf sacks. Oh man, that was enjoyable. Although both witches, one being niggled and one being dead, is kind of unfortunate. Do you have any thoughts about what you're going to be doing with the team? You going to keep them around, Motley? Or is that the dead witch is too much to recover from? I do appreciate that the troll leveled as well. Both the goblin and troll leveled this game, so the dynamic duo of Kipo and Resident Sleeper can continue. Palm is still really good, yeah. Well, okay, looks like Motley is probably going to stick around for another season. Good to hear. Well, as I said, I'll be back in about 20 minutes to do my clan thing. I'm going to drop it for now so that I don't keep you guys waiting for 20 minutes. But thanks everybody so much for watching. Thanks to Carl Yeager for being with me here. Go to sleep. Now that you are sick, go recover.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you. And all of you out there also have a good one. I've been Steak Mittens, and I'll see you in about 20 minutes for my clan game.